Hi, it's Panda Movies here. Today, I'm going to explain the Korean horror movie The Call. Warning, there are spoilers ahead. Enjoy the video. The story is set in 2019. It opens with a 28-year-old Kim Seo-yeon who loses her cell phone while traveling to visit her sick, estranged mother in a rural area. She arrives at a rundown childhood home where she finds an old cordless phone. At first glance, the phone seems to be completely common, not until Seo-yeon begins to receive calls from a distressed woman claiming to being tortured by her mother. The call urged Seo-yeon to investigate the house until she discovers that the woman on the other line, Young-sook, is living in the same house at the exact same moment as her, but in the year 1999. Seo-yeon continues to answer the calls from Young-sook, exchanging information about their lives. Young-sook shares that she is an orphan who lives with her adoptive mother, a shaman. Seo-yeon shares that she has lost a parent as well, her father, in a fire that she blames her mother, Eun-ae, for. Young-sook decided to do Seo-yeon a favor since she had been generous to her with sharing so much information about the future, especially on her favorite artists. Acting on the information Seo-yeon provided the day her father died, Young-sook sneaks out of the house to prevent the fire from killing Seo-yeon's father. She successfully stops the accident and effectively changes Seo-yeon's reality. Seo-yeon's parents are now both alive and healthy, and their house is lavish. Young-sook, however, is punished by her mother and becomes resentful that Seo-yeon's life is improved while hers is the same. In her newly improved present reality, Seo-yeon continues to communicate with Young-sook and even searches on the internet what had happened to her in the present, only to learn that Young-sook was killed by her mother during an exorcism. On their next phone call, Seo-yeon immediately warns Young-sook of what her mother was planning to do. Young-sook saves herself and kills her mother instead. Now free from her mother's abusive grasp, Young-sook enjoys the adrenaline that she got from taking her mother's life and becomes a serial killer. Seo-yeon realizes what Young-sook had become when her victims disappear in the present day, so on their next phone call, she confronts Young-sook but inadvertently reveals to her that she'll be arrested. As revenge to Seo-yeon for betraying her, back in 1999, Young-sook kills Seo-yeon's father when they come to visit to close their purchase of the house, taking the 8-year-old Seo-yeon as captive. This alters the present reality of Seo-yeon, her father being dead again with the house in a worse condition than it had been previously. Young-sook calls Seo-yeon and tells her to find out how she'll be arrested, but instead Seo-yeon feeds Young-sook false info. But when Young-sook threatens to kill her mother next, Seo-yeon breaks into the local police station for the notebook filed under 1999. Young-sook taunts Seo-yeon that they're the same because Seo-yeon caused the fire that originally killed her father and lied about Eun-ae being responsible. Defeated, Seo-yeon gives Young-sook the correct information, prompting her reality to change again. This time, the house is owned by an older Young-sook who has continued to be a serial killer and used her house as a den where she commits her murders. The content of the notebook changes as well, with a note that Eun-ae came to the house with a police officer and made a call on the cordless phone. Seo-yeon waits in the house for the call and uses it to warn Eun-ae. In 1999, Young-sook kills the police officer that responds to Eun-ae's call and chases her. Back in 2019, the older Young-sook reveals herself and similarly chases Seo-yeon. The scenes continue to go back and forth between the past and the present. Back in the past, Eun-ae uses the phone again, and Seo-yeon picks up and encourages her to fight. Eun-ae seemingly sacrifices herself to kill Young-sook, and 2019 changes, with the house becoming derelict and old Young-sook disappearing. Seo-yeon leaves the house and is emotionally reunited with Eun-ae, who is alive and well, albeit with scars. The movie ends with Seo-yeon standing over her mother's tombstone, mourning her death. However, as she breaks down, she is visited by her mother, who was scarred but very much alive in the scene prior, leaving the audience baffled. Seo-yeon finally walks out of the graveyard happily, hinting that her mother must have been alive and well. It is possible that Seo-yeon managed to save her mother and ended up in the present day to experience that moment with her mother. However, the mid-credit scene breaks open two possibilities, leaving the audience more baffled than they already are. The mid-credit scene shows an older Young-sook waiting by the phone, and as soon as it rings, she answers the call that turns out to be from her younger self. She warns her about Eun-ae and the police officer, giving her younger self the opportunity to change history, erasing Eun-ae from Seo-yeon's side. At the end, the scene cuts to the torture room, where a person covered in white cloth is tied to a chair, screaming for help. The cloth is removed, revealing a frightened Seo-yeon, who will most likely meet her demise by Young-sook. The first possibility is that Seo-yeon indeed managed to save her mother and escape her from Young-sook, landing the possibility that they are living happily in the present. Another possibility could be that Seo-yeon managed to reset the past for a favorable present, but Young-sook continues to hunt Seo-yeon's mother in the past and kills her, which could explain the sudden vanishing of the mother in the scene and Seo-yeon landing up in the attic of the murder house.